Oh, shuck it, duck it. Shuck it,
What's
duck
up?
it. Good
What's up,
evening,
people?
everybody.
How's everyone?
Hello, America.
It's
Hello,
good.
America.
It's
All
good to
right, we
have.
got one guest coming on. She'll be on in about 1 minute. She's sitting in
Okay,
the
it's good
studio.
to. I want to say something to the snowbird, which I call her that now, since Houston is noted for snow. Snowbird, you stayed warm, or tell me what you did to stay warm.
Boy, it was cold over here, and my power was out from Sunday to I think I didn't get power back until Wednesday. But even when we got power back, because we didn't have water,
Right,
I didn't
right.
get water back until yesterday. But because we didn't get water, we didn't have water, we still couldn't be warm because your our unit takes water going through it
I got what you're saying. Now,
to
so
produce heat.
did you burn up a coffee table or burn up a couple chairs and start a fire?
No.
Okay.
I went to the first night I went to the Motel 6 that charged me $150.
Holy macaroni.
Exactly. Price gouged me to death.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So
you should contact Ted Cruz. Oh, I forgot. He was in Cancun, so you couldn't reach him. So I'm with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's not good. Is things working out okay now?
Yeah. So yesterday I got water back.
Okay,
I
good.
came back home.
Well, I'm
okay.
praying
That's
for
awesome.
the people in Houston.
Yeah. But
Julius, it's good to see you as well. I can see you still got what's the word? Free from hospital, because you normally my thumb, my head, my leg.
I just took my COVID test, came back negative.
Oh,
good.
That's my 5th one.
Really? You had 5 already?
5.
Wow. Why have you been taking so many tests? What is up?
I'm always out in the field, so I got to always check myself because I'm around my grandbaby, my wife, I'm around all my family, so I make sure that I stay tested.
Right.
Every other month I get a test, whether I'm feeling good or not.
I took the vaccination last Wednesday, February the 17th at 11 o'clock, and I'll be taking the second one March the 10th at 11 o'clock. So
March the 10th at 11 o'clock.
You know, it's that second the second round is the one that is that affects you the most. So hopefully you do it closer to the weekend, because you're gonna need that weekend.
Well, it's on a Friday. It's on a Friday. March 10th is on a Friday.
Yeah.
But I
You're gonna
guess
need that
you
weekend.
can use me as a gauge, because if you want to see if the vaccination work, in about 6 months, if I start growing 2 hairs, run like hell, do not take the shot. Because if you hadn't took the shot yet. Hey, Mike Kelly, how are you, my friend? Hope you're doing well tonight. Miss Tanya.
Hey, Tanya.
Always a pleasure to see you. There go that guy who like
friends that took the shot already. Both of their shots already.
Oh, your parents, you say?
No, I've had several friends, that like healthcare, that already had both of the vaccination.
Awesome.
And how they doing with it so far?
They're doing fine.
Good. You know, the people who hadn't really had it yet, you can gauge the people who've gotten it. Like I say, if I start growing 2 or 3 hairs, you need not to take it. You say this is not working. So
all right, our first guest is here, y'all. So she's in the waiting room, and we're going to put her on so y'all can start asking her what the hell is going on at the damn fairground. What in the world is happening? So we're going to bring on our first guest. Y'all ready?
Ready.
All right. Doctor, the incomparable.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing this evening?
We're doing good,
Hello,
Doctor.
hello, Dr.
It give,
Estella Shabazz.
it
It
give
is.
us a great pleasure to have you with us this evening. I've seen you on City Council, and I've seen the way you roll. You for the people. The 5th District are so blessed to have great representation because you represent their voice, and that's what's important. And I've watched you. And again, I want to thank you for what you're trying to do for the 5th District, but not only for the 5th District, for the entire city. You are Mayor Pro Tem, so if that other mayor decided he want to go to Houston, Texas and get with Ted Cruz and go to Cancun, then you become mayor, and that we applaud that. So give him a ticket, Julie, to go to Cancun. But it's good to have you, Doctor.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. And you know, when I say your name, I've always got to say Mrs. Brown and tell Mrs. Brown, say hello,
You are very
like
kind.
always.
You're very kind, and I'm gonna share that because she think mighty highly of you. And
Yes,
you're not
okay.
that tall, but she really treats you that tall. So
Forever, forever. And
Okay,
and
we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty, and we're
go
gonna
ahead,
be
let her
asked.
make a statement, whatever she gonna say. Oh, excuse me for being rude.
Okay, well, you go ahead and handle this, Mr. Charlie. I know everybody knows the good Mayor Pro Tem. This is the Mayor Pro Tem of Savannah, Georgia, the Honorable Dr. Estella Shabazz, Dr. Estella Edwards
And don't
Shabazz.
forget Edwards, right?
Yeah, yeah. And we're glad to have her on the show tonight so that she can tell us everything that's going on, to highlight the big things, the big issues down at City Hall. But especially tonight, we have a topic that we want to discuss. And hey, Melinda Gwen Thornton, and it's the unfair ground.
mm,
It ain't
Unfair
fair
ground.
ground. This is the unfair ground. So it ain't fair. So, Doctor, go ahead and Charlie, Charlie wanted you to do something else. You want to give us a synopsis of what's going on before we start asking all these questions?
absolutely, absolutely. I want to thank you too, and make the rounds around the table here. Thank you, Mr. Hall, for inviting me to your show. And Mrs. McKeithen, it's just a pleasure seeing you again. I see you often. I see all of you often on the show, most times when you're on during the week. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. And like always, I've been talking a lot on the shows that you all have for all things relevant. Am I saying that right?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
things relevant media.
All of your black media, your black media, it has been so necessary, and I am just so grateful that you all are here so we can get the message out. I like how you all have been saying this week about the unfair grounds. Wow. Let me just back up just a minute for your viewers to let them know. Some of them may know what we're talking about. The majority of them, I hope, by now know what we're talking about. There is 67 acres, 67.5 acres of land. And to let you all know that this is the last piece of land with this amount of acres that is left in the entire city of Savannah borders that is undeveloped. So with that being said, I need you all to understand that when we're talking about 67.5 acres, in most people's minds, it's talking about some money, some millions, and even billions of dollars. That's the bottom line to all of this, of what is going on. And I have been working on with the constituency of the 5th District, more specifically with Fowler Park and Tatumville areas, because that is where the fairgrounds, those particular two neighborhoods, is where the fairgrounds is located, right in between the two of those neighborhoods. Working since it was brought to the table on City Council in 2014. Now I need y'all to stay with me because 2014, I'm just gonna count it out, y'all. I'm where my hands at. 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and we in 21, right? We're in our 7th year of this, and this is absolutely ridiculous. 7 years of the people fighting back folks who've been trying to take over the fairgrounds for their own group, for their own good, for their own purposes, for their own interest, and interest not for the people. We even had to fight back, and when it was non-COVID time, there was an RFP that was put out. A couple of them was put out, was trying to get put out before myself and the constituency knowing anything about the RFPs were developed. Folks on the last administration, let me make it clear, on the last administration, they were putting out RFPs that I had no idea about. And when I have ideas about anything, I bring it back to the people. So the people can tell me what their voices are, so I can take their voices back down to City Hall. I'm not confused about this thing. I don't represent the folks under the city of the Gold Dome unless they are in the 5th district. But now that I'm the mayor pro tem, I do that thing too. I keep my eyes open even wider now in this entire city. But I am not confused about the situation and taking the voices and the concerns of the people back to City Hall. Now, there was some RFPs that was done we didn't know anything about, and the audacity of some of these folks. I got to take y'all back because I haven't been on y'all show before. The audacity of some folk who were in the last administration on city council, let me make it even clearer, who brought before the council an RFP to try to sell the fairgrounds for $1. Am I talking too loud, y'all? Because I kind of get like,
no. Go.
Perfect. Okay. Continue to express yourself. Take your time.
Hi, Charlie.
I'm just letting you know that we're not rushing her to talk. And when I speak, you be quiet. Go ahead, Miss Doctor.
Take your time, Doc.
Yes, ma'am. So therefore, y'all, they were trying to take the fairgrounds for $1 when it was non-COVID time. We got in there. The community came out in number. The neighborhood association presidents with their awesome selves. I thank God for the leadership of the neighborhood association presidents in the 5th. I tell you, because now we were locked, but we locked like this now. Ain't no kind of air getting in between almost 25,000 folks that I represent here in the 5th district. And everybody is concerned about the fairgrounds. So that's a little bit of the background with the RFPs. And then we've been working so hard. You know, it took about 3 years of that. And now it was a hold up, going back and forth, and they stopped talking about it because they saw how we came when they tried to sell it for $1. So to just distract us, they, in the last administration, didn't put it back on the agenda. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Didn't put it back on the agenda. So therefore, we've been working hard. Y'all did a great thing. We thought y'all did a great thing back in November and elected a new council, not this past November 2019, and brought on 7 new council members because you all wiped out that last administration and brought on this new administration.
Mm-hmm.
So with this new administration, you know, I was ready. I was ready for the inauguration to come in 2020 because the first order of my conversation with all of them was going to be the fairgrounds. And that's what happened. But by that time, now that we are at this point, we see now that back then it was some stuff balling and some stuff going on. Mm-hmm. We finally got it on. They had it on the workshop agenda back in February of 2020. They had other items, y'all, on the agendas back then. Other projects that has been on the agenda from the workshop brought to the city council. City council have passed them. folks designing, developing, cutting ribbons, groundbreakings, and all kind of stuff, and stuff almost finished, and we still here trying to get some stuff done on the fairgrounds.
Mhm.
So we traveled along, stayed on them. Some of the council members, I tell y'all know who it is now. I thank God. Let me call their names. I tell folks now, y'all just need to call our names.
Mhm.
Alderwoman Lanier from the 1st District. No, let me put it in order. Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter, Post 1. At large, Alderwoman. Alderwoman at large, Post 2, Alicia Miller Blakely. Then Alderwoman Lanier, Bernetta Lanier, Alderwoman District 1. They have never swayed, nor have they stumbled on anything that involved concern that was concerning for the people. Now you're talking about the people's time and the people's voice. I tell them all the time, and we can't hug each other no more, but I be bumping and everything and just telling them, thank you. I'm so glad y'all here, because they don't get off the mark. They've been rolling with me for us on last year. We finally got an RFP. It was a tussle and a task, cause Mayor Johnson and myself. Now we were the only two that came across from the last administration. So the people, there's been several for years, y'all, for years, family, several town hall meetings that I've had in the 5th District in reference to the subject matter of the fairgrounds. I mean, 3, 4, 5 years of town hall meetings. I always kept the issue in front of the people to know what the people want, making sure the people voiced to me what they wanted, and the people became clear. The people became clear and said that they did not want housing on the fairgrounds. And the reason why they didn't want housing on the fairgrounds, because they have Montgomery Landings, they have Allen Apartment, they have Madison Apartment, they have all of those apartments that are not being taken care of all around the fairgrounds. So why is it necessary? I am not against workforce housing. I'm not against affordable housing. I am not against housing for the homeless. I am not. But why not spread all of it throughout the entire city of Savannah and not try to use the fairgrounds to stuff everybody that they're moving out, putting outdoors, just making folks just marginalized? Why would you have to bring them all and stuff them on the fairgrounds? So it was a fight. I'm telling y'all. Like one of the older women at large always say, that she is not going to be politically correct. Lord have mercy, y'all. I've been trying to be correct, been trying to go by the law, been trying to speak the language correctly. I'm going to try to stay that way. But these days here, I got to open my mouth and let y'all know exactly what's going on. The mayor and I, back in 2020, when I was trying to get this RFP to move forward, the other ladies, they stayed close. They were right there. But we were fighting about the housing. And it got to a point in certain meetings where everybody just stopped talking, and it was just me and him going back and forth. I said, now you know, Mayor, nobody else came across but me and you. Nobody else knew that the people said they did not want housing on the fairgrounds. We went back and forth until I said, okay, I held my hands up. I had to hold my hands up for the sake of the people so that we can get an RFP through. So I said, okay, Mayor, you say you want housing? All right, whatever you want. But I will continue to reiterate that the people said that they did not want housing on the fairgrounds. So he said, I want city manager, before you put the RFP out, the request for proposal. I'm saying RFP. That means request for proposal. The mayor said, I want you to generalize it. I want you to generalize it, make it more open. Don't just specify no housing, so that when you put it out for the public and whoever wants to bid on it, they can add whatever they want to add on it. So we got the proposals back. That was a hurdle. We got them back in. We got the proposals back in. We put them out. It went out on May 28th, 2020. We got the proposals back in, and we approved. We approved the proposals. There were 3 that came in. And on October the 22nd, 2020, I'm going to read this, and I like to show this. I like to show this. This is a document. There it is. This is a written document that is the actual letter, the law of the letter from our council meeting, which are from the agenda, the minutes from the meeting. From our October 22nd, 2020 meeting, it says, Mayor Johnson stated, this is not a decision, and asked the city manager to discuss the proposals. City Manager Patrick Monahan outlined the request for proposal process and the 3 accepted proposals. Mr. Monahan gave details of the 3 proposals. He outlined the next steps. I need y'all to remember this. He outlined the next steps for the selection of the awarded firm. Mr. Monahan recommended council view. Let me see this. Council view presentations from all firms. The first event will be a Zoom meeting. The second presentation will be live at the Johnny Mercer Theater at the Civic Center. The public will provide input after the second presentation for council to select the winning firm. Staff will then negotiate the final term of the development agreement and begin the binding of the proposals staff would then begin the final terms of the development agreement and begin to bind the proposals into commitments/timelines that will be backed by performing guarantees. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Shabazz thanked the city manager for moving the fairground development along and getting the proposals to this final phase. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Shabazz moved to approve item number 12 per the city manager's recommendation. Alderwoman Miller Blakely second. The motion was passed unanimously. Unanimously, y'all. This was October the 22nd, 2020. I'm going to put my hands up again. I want to just emphasize this. October, November, December, January, and February is about to be over. I'm 9 years. I am 9 years in on city council.
Correct.
It does not take this long to do actions that the city council puts out. It is when we say unanimously, and when that mayor hits that gavel and say the meeting is over, it is time to move. Y'all, we are 4 months in, we still with this unfair fairgrounds. We did.
Somebody business going on.
I'm sure everybody got some questions for you, and we because it's a number of questions that we have that needs to be answered for the citizens. Because Charlie, you can go first and start with you.
Okay, thank you. My question is, what I've been hearing that they saying the fairground got toxic waste or toxic stuff in the ground. When did this came about? I knew nothing about it, and this is the first time I heard about it. Could you share that and what's going on about the toxic or? Okay.
Yes, sir.
That was my question.
Yes, sir. To also let the listening audience know that I am a civil engineer, and I've been a civil engineer for over 30 years. And when they started talking about the fairgrounds, let me get this document right here.
Okay, take your time.
I need to let the people know. This was the study. This was the environmental study that was done by Tarragon Consultants. And I have a date right here on these particular documents of January the 26th, 2016. Environmentals in certain phases were done. Audience, this is the fairground. This is the land of the fairgrounds. Thank God. I need y'all to know that y'all know that Dr. Shabazz know what she's talking about.
Well, we trust you.
On the fairgrounds, there are areas, and we knew this back in 2014. We knew that there was some bad soils on the fairgrounds. We knew that there was flood. There was wetlands on the fairgrounds. But in the city of Savannah, there are certain flood zones. And in Savannah, there are 6 hazardous flood zones. And Mr. Brown, I don't want to go too much in detail, but to let you know, in these 6 flood hazardous zones, the fairground lies in one of these zones. And it states that in some of these zones, let me get it right for you. The city requires balance of cut and fill in the area and finished floor elevations raised by 12 inches. What that means, that in the city flood hazardous zones, that you can build in those zones, okay? But you have to follow the stipulations of the law of the zone. And that means that the city requires balance of cut and fill, which is an engineering term, in the area and the finished floor elevation when you are building something in that hazardous flood zone, it has to be raised 12 inches. So therefore, that lets us know that you can build in the flood zone.
Right now, let's consider the Low Country in the first place, right? Chatham is like in the Low Country in the very first place, correct?
You said it right, Mr. Brown. You said Chatham, and Chatham County, the city of Savannah, is in Chatham County. The city of Savannah and Chatham County is so close to the water table. That's why when it rains, we flood. This, not just the fairgrounds. You said it right. Chatham County.
That's correct.
Absolutely. So I hope that answered your question.
Ma'am, you fulfill. Excellent. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Jill.
I have questions.
Yes.
Dr. Shabazz, has anyone done a land use plan based on what the citizens of the surrounding communities stated that they would like to see on those 67 acres?
Okay.
A part of the RFP was, and it's in the RFP, is for a master plan to be developed. After the awarded firm is awarded, they will come back then, and they will have Surrettes come back and talk with the community. They'll be saying the same thing that we've been talking about for the last 5.5 years. But by this time, with that land use that you're talking about, we will begin to do the development. That is an item in that RFP.
Why has it, all of this, in your opinion, because in my opinion, when they sold the land, I mean, when the city brought the land in the first place, I felt like it was trickery going on and that they wanted us to fall asleep, because during this time, we wasn't staying woke. And, they wanted us to fall asleep. And then all of a sudden somebody was going to come in and mysteriously buy that land for that dollar, and all of a sudden, things were going to happen and those people in that area were going to be at risk. And I kept saying that, I was crying out in the dark. But my other question was, when State Representative Gorton a few years ago, he proposed using part of that land for
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. He did.
What happened with that? Can you tell us what happened with that and why was his proposal shot down? Tell us about that.
When Representative Craig Gordon made a proposal, the city purchased the land for $2.9 million. Representative Craig Gordon's company, they were ready to do sound stages. They had things just lined up for motion pictures to be done in Savannah. And I was, at that time, I was on city council. And just to be real clear, I was on city council with the majority of white men on city council. And I was about the only voice. When I'm talking, I'm just going to be straight because I can now, doggone it. I was the only one, the majority of the time, speaking up for Black folks, not just in the 5th district, but for the entire city of Savannah. So I was struggling and fighting and every other turn, every other twist was going on. So when the situation came up with that, I just have to tell folk about this and be real honest, that because I was struggling and fighting so, and every other step I was taking, my eyes was not on that situation at the time like it should have been, like I am now.
Distraction. I was a distraction.
Yes, I was totally distracted. And I tell you, if I can turn the clock back now, let me tell you something, Miss McKeithen. How things normally happen in city council, when we vote on something and the mayor hits that gavel that the meeting is over, we would have had some stuff going on. I don't know how many movies. And then it would have been what we are talking about now. It would have been an economic boom. I do believe, Lord have mercy.
Exactly.
Now that I look back at this thing, it would have been a situation that would have been so good.
Make sure that thing is
for the area, for Liberty City, not for Tatumville. Make sure this thing. For all of all of the people, all of the businesses in that area, all of Savannah.
It would have been what you call a bonanza. I'll tell you, that's what it would have been. A bonanza.
And Doc, this is what bothers me about this administration. It really pisses me off because, see, we have this opportunity. We came in with this opportunity, where, and I'm not saying that we needed to take advantage, because most of the players were wearing our uniform. You know, I mean, the mayor, Black, you know, and most of the council people, Black, that we needed to go in there and, you know, just bully everything around like they did in the last administration.
Oh
We
yeah, they got
didn't,
busy.
yeah, I mean, they did the business.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that we had a unique situation in which we could say, hey, we have 55 point whatever majority of people in this city that are Black. We should have more businesses that are Black, that are, you know, that are represented, you know, in business, in our, you know, the way we give out our contracts in the county and the city, and in uh in our education, you know,
The
all
school
of
board, yeah.
this, you know, the school board, all of the Black people should be getting it on if we are sitting here with the uniforms on. You
I
know,
agree.
if we are representing them the way we should, they should be advancing. The same way when Jackson, you know, back in the day in Atlanta, when he put a moratorium on that airport, you know, project and said, wait a minute, if I'm going to make millionaires, you know, I'm going to make some of my people millionaires along with y'all, you know.
Sandra, I'm going to read this from Pat Harris. Dr. Harris said the vote of the city council was to accept three proposals was unanimous. They voted to move forward with the next step to include meetings. We're going backwards in the turn for the interim city manager to have 30 more days to review what has already been approved. Why, Michael Brown?
All right. That right there brings us forward. You need me to say something? Can I say something now?
Yes,
Mr. Hall? All right.
yes, ma'am.
Now that comment from Dr. Harris brings us forward. Now, Pat Monahan was the one who did the action for the October 20, and she's talking about that October 22nd item that I read to you all from the agenda and the council action. Now, there was a struggle and I gotta tell it, there was a struggle to try to slow this thing down with me and the mayor again. And we finally got a executive session meeting on this past Monday. And from that meeting and the information that came back, I said, oh, this is great. What we asked for in the last executive session meeting, and we got the information back before the meeting. I said, great. I know it's going to take us no more than 20 minutes to do the right thing. We got in that meeting, y'all. We stayed in there for 2 hours.
Wow.
We stayed in there for 2 hours, and we was on our game. I'm talking about the four ladies, the four of us. So after that meeting and how it went down, I could not wait, and I did not wait. And before we got off the Zoom with the entire council, and I thought the rest of them was going on about their business, but they stayed put because they knew how I was feeling at the time and all during that meeting. I told that city attorney, I said, wait a minute, I need you to stay right there. Because I know from my experience, I don't talk about what goes on in the executive session. I know the rules of the games and everything. So I told him, I said, listen, I'm getting ready to set up I am getting ready to set up some press conferences, and I'm getting ready to do everything, and I'm getting ready to go and tell the people exactly what y'all just did in here. And what I need from you, city attorney, is how can I do this legally? How can I do this legally coming out of an executive session? He told me, Mayor Pro Tem, I need you to give me a few hours. Let me go research. Let me go do this. Let me get it right. Let me see how you can do it. He came back with it. Can I read this?
Yeah,
Read it.
go ahead.
All right. The city attorney, his name is Attorney Bates Lovett. He wrote on Monday, February the 22nd. Mayor Pro Tem, the subject matter of the executive session is what is privileged. Here, the subject matter is the proposals for the fairgrounds property. How the subject matter is discussed is not privileged. You may not discuss information you have gained within executive session regarding the actual proposals themselves. You may discuss how these proposals were discussed. So I cannot talk about the details of the proposals because we were in executive session.
Right.
But I can talk about how those proposals were discussed and be legal coming out of an executive session. He goes on to write, I am not going to go point by point and try to recreate all what was said over the 2 hours, especially in this short amount of time. If you have specific topics that you want to discuss, please ask specifically, and I will do my best to answer. So I picked up my device. Where is it? This is my city device. I picked it up and I text the city attorney. I said, I do have specifically a question. I asked him, city attorney, would it be legally okay for me to tell the people what the mayor's recommendation was? And can I tell the people the names of the council members that voted on the mayor's recommendation? He sent back to me simply yes. So here it is. The recommendation that Mayor Johnson recommended in that executive session. Mayor Johnson recommended to give the city manager 30 days to schedule public meetings. Mayor Johnson recommended to allow the city manager to speak with the proposers about offering their best and final offer in order to address the city manager's concerns. Mayor Johnson recommended that the city manager to recommend and directed the city manager to complete his work by April the 5th, 2021. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Shabazz, Alderwoman Lanier, and Alderwoman Miller Blakely requested to sit in on any meetings the city manager had with the proposers. Mayor Johnson stated, if any proposers do not want to change their proposals, they do not have to change their proposals. He said, y'all, Mayor Johnson said, if any proposers do not want to change October the 22nd, 2020, the city council unanimously voted on 3 proposals. As of this day, I have not seen any of those 3 proposals in their entirety. And I say me, I don't believe no other member of city council has seen those proposals. So why in the world the Mayor Johnson, is telling the city manager that you can go, and I got to read it verbatim because when they start quoting me, that's why I'm reading it. They can quote it like it's written. Mayor Johnson stated, if the proposers do not want to change their proposals, they do not have to change. I took and pleaded. Mayor Johnson was talking over me, trying to stop me from talking in that executive session. I don't do this. And who this is right here? This is Alicia Scott. Now, Alicia Scott been rolling with me ever since. And she know I don't talk about no executive session. I don't do none of this. But it's a doggone new day in 2021. Then the mayor was talking over me. I'm trying to talk. He was ignoring me. I was holding my hand up. He would call 3 or 4 other alderpersons before he would talk to me. So I just started talking out. And I was telling them, I was pleading with my council colleagues, do not vote with the mayor. Do not vote with him because he is absolutely incorrect. He is putting us back, and he's talking about allowing the city manager to go by himself. Who is trusting all of this process? Who is trusting a doggone city manager? Y'all got to excuse me right now. I've been hanging out with this stuff for going on 7 years. And he's talking about telling the city manager to go back and change the proposals that ain't nobody never seen yet.
It's an inside job.
Yes, it is. And let me tell y'all who voted with him. I got to call their doggone names. The ones who voted with the mayor. Mayor Johnson, Alderman Leggett, Alderwoman Wilder Bryant, Alderman Palumbo, Alderman Purty voted for the recommendation with the mayor. Not voted. I got to take that word away because I can hear the mayor right now. Oh, she's saying voted. Let me correct that, Mr. Mayor. The consensus was taken on your recommendation. And this is how it came out. And those who opposed his recommendation was myself, Alderwoman Mayor Pro Tem Dr. Shabazz, Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter, Alderwoman Alicia Miller Blakely, Alderwoman Lynetta Lanier opposed his recommendation. That's what went down on Monday.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that most powerful information. I just want to, Julie, ask for one thing, and it's in the 5th district. Is the movie industry, Jonesville Annex, are they using it as a production site and for equipment storage there? I'm saying you already got the movie close to the fairground, but I'm saying the connection, it could be used for the fairground as well. I'm asking.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the original thing that I'm sorry. Oh, I'm Mayor Pro Tem. I'm sorry. The original. So years ago, I worked with Dr. Shabazz when I was, retained to help her with policy. We did a survey. We did a study of all the neighborhood associations that butted up against the fairgrounds, and those people liked the idea of the movie studio that J. Craig Gordon's company had proposed. They said, hey, he said he didn't have to get it, but he said, hey, this is something that could be there because that's his neighborhood too. There was a whole study and a survey. We worked with the previous city manager. Dr. Shabazz did everything right. We called in experts and architects who went over and did, soil mitigation tests to see what it would take. And it was deemed that, okay, we don't need to have people living here full time. Not only do we not to have people living there in this affordable housing, but they wanted something that would drive economic development. The point is to get in something that would drive economic development, because the Black side of town is tired of getting a new set of projects that drive down the values of the single family homes in that area. You know, you're supposed to put the low income housing out there next to the high end real estate, because they can withstand,
So
the appraisal.
So you can have a mix. Yeah.
Exactly. So the proposal that went through was fairgrounds, and then, possibly recreation complex. The community out there loved it. You and Dr. Shabazz went to every neighborhood association meeting, got all people. We put together a whole survey, and the people literally stood up. It was packed. There was about 200 people jammed into the Tatumville Community Center. Rob Hernandez was there. His right-hand woman was there. J. Craig Gordon, all the leaders, Dr. Harris was there, and they stood up and they said emphatically, we don't need no more low-income housing over here. We want something that's going to revitalize. And the fairgrounds also was going to bring, you guys should have seen the proposal that former Rep. Gordon put together. He had put together a partnership with the Georgia Film Academy to run an apprenticeship program out of there. It was going to be a pipeline of students coming out of Savannah State's film certification program. Savannah State got the film certification program, as well as Savannah Tech with the Georgia Film Certification Program. They were going to work in partnership. They were going to bring kids out of those programs, run them through this apprenticeship program that the IATSE, the Film Crews Union, the IATSE members, we had all those people together saying, yes, we'll pay for union membership for these kids. These kids are going to be able to come out of college, come out of Savannah Tech, be union certified to work in the film industry, starting out with jobs making $30 to $50 an hour. It was it's a model economic. It's basically asset-based economic development, equitable economic development. It's like somebody got a hold of that information and decided, we're not finna give these Negroes no good jobs. We're not finna revitalize the Black side of town. It's impossible to me how a plan like that wouldn't be favorable for a majority Black city council. We did all this back when Robert Hernandez was the city manager. It was on the news. There was articles written about it, and that community spoke, and they stood up. The 5th District Neighborhood Alliance stood up in support of, we don't want no more housing. They said that emphatically, and they wanted to be a part of what went there. And it was going to be a perfect development, but it has been held up by backdoor deals. And Van, I'm just gonna say it. Van Johnson has been the biggest opponent of it. He's been fighting. I mean, this has been a battle. Mm-hmm. I have never seen Black folks have to fight Black folks.
If anyone ever asked Van Johnson, why don't he want it, and have he give an answer? Because you already got the movie industry right there by you at the Jonesville Annex.
Hey, we got
easy to make the show.
Charlie, we got one of Van is not going to tell us anything or get on here and tell us anything. So he sends his surrogates like Eddie BG. Eddie BG said, how can Savannah State students getting film jobs be an economic driver for the 5th District? Because they'll spend money in stores, guy. Because they'll spend money in all the stores around the place.
Eddie,
you know what economic drivers, you need to stop acting so smart and you dumb as hell. Would that be an economic driver for the city of students for wherever they come from? But the people of the neighborhood will receive what? People in the neighborhood will receive
all the traffic,
open businesses. It would be an
opportunity.
Let me say this:
buildings that are not open now, Eddie.
I know. Van Johnson has an army of people who have no idea what economic development looks like. They just ask these myopic. Here's the thing: they've been getting over on Black folks in Savannah with this simple stuff. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm a hush. I remember when they were putting that 230 unit building affordable housing at the end of 204 in the 5th district. And I remember Tony Thomas saying a dumb thing like Eddie BG, well, there's no cat bus going out there. Well, duh, don't nobody live out there yet. We know.
Right.
That's why
Exactly.
they get you with this old simpleton dumb logic.
Sam different. You're absolutely correct. And you and I don't always agree, but you own the money tonight, sister.
Yeah, they get them with this old stupid logic. Listen, the soundstage being over there, the apprenticeship program being over there. That's the reason why. Let me put it to you this way. After we had that press conference, what was it, 4 years ago, Dr. Shabazz?
Yes. Yes.
Look at how that side of town started revitalizing already in anticipation. It's booming. Look at Scad done set up shop over there. They have started that whole side of town in anticipation of something major like the soundstage. They already started revitalizing that side of town. So that's your answer, Eddie BG. You always coming on here, a rabble rouser. He ain't nothing but a bootlicking trustee himself.
Eddie BG, the only way Savannah gonna ever get out of the mustard and catch up is economics. Economic drive to drive everything. Economic get you where you need to go. Eddie, you need to wake up and see. You're accustomed to maybe working or looking for somebody to hand you a biscuit. Stop that.
Listen, Van has his.
Hold on, Miss Scott. I'm fresh out of biscuits. Okay, we ain't got no biscuits to give you,
Dr. Shabazz. So, what they're asking, what they're wanting to do is override the vote that they did back in October.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Override that vote and hold it up for 30 more days and have the new city manager do what?
What's happening is of the 3 proposals, okay? There were 3
nobody
proposals.
read.
We didn't see them. They did not bring them before the city council. They did not follow through with what we unanimously voted for. We were supposed to go to the next steps. And the next steps was that present the 3 proposals to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Let the community see what these people, what their concepts. Remember that master plan I was telling you about? What are their thoughts? Let us see. And then let us choose. Let the people, because what I said, and that's some foul stuff right there too. But since they filed it up, because normally you don't do all of that in a proposal, just on this one, since I've been on city council. Normally, we would have vetted them, the staff would have vetted them, chose, if we had any questions, they'll go back and answer our questions, and then they'll come back with one proposer. And we will vote on that, and it will be business as usual. They didn't do that for this right here. It's too much money involved, okay? And they don't want to. They don't want to. It's too much. And what they saw, because all of them and whoever else they allowed to see the proposals, I don't know who they allowed to see the proposals, but some stuff came out. They would not let us see them, and will not let the process move forward. So in order, now they delayed it. We did this in October. They brought on another city manager. They went and got doggone Michael Brown. Mm-hmm. I can say that right now. I didn't understand why they went and got him at first. Mayor Johnson brought him, set him in front of us, and said, well, here is Michael Brown, and I think he's going to be a good person. There was no information. There was no, all this vetting and all this stuff that they talk about going through with city managers. None of that has happened. Since that has happened, and since I've been working with this person, expects the city manager, especially when it came down to the fairgrounds, he needs to go home. I haven't said that in public before. Y'all got that one first from me. He needs to go home on this. And what they did, and what they did, let
from one somebody that I know loves Van Johnson. How many black-owned businesses are located within the perimeter of this project? It'll be a whole lot more if they put the right things there. If they stop
Well,
trying to put a house in there.
let's talk about it. Let's address. Okay, hang on. It's a lot. You got 520 Wings back in the day. Tricks Barbecue. You got it's a whole Island Breeze. It's a whole. First of all,
Shabazz restaurant.
Shabazz Seafood. It's a whole lot. Look, you got what's the guy Joe Addison? His gas stations, his car lots, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's the thing. Probably the highest concentration of black businesses is located within the 5-mile perimeter of the fairgrounds. That's what y'all not getting. This the black side of town, y'all. This is the black side of town, and they trying to make sure they kill it. They have a legacy of killing the black side of town. That's what y'all not getting. Most of the black businesses is within that perimeter. Go ahead, Charlie.
Okay, all I was gonna say, you have to be careful who are trying to ask those questions, because those individuals don't really care about the people. If they did, they wouldn't do some of the stuff they have done. And I don't have to say what, so he need not to speak, whoever just spoke, because he know that economic will create pop-up businesses all around because of all the movie industry in there.
Exactly. There you go. I'm with you. If I could give you a high five, Charlie, I'll give you a high five.
No,
that is what.
Just send me a check. Just send me a small check.
Look at the best barbecue on Montgomery. Wait. We got to answer. How many black businesses? Cook Vibes, Donna's Delights, Island Breeze, Shalon. Cool Vibes. Oh, I didn't say Kook Vibes. Donna's Delights, Island Breeze, Shabazz. This is the black side of town. And for all you bootlicking trustees that are out there with your tongue so far up the establishment's behind, you don't even understand. If you black and you on this thread and you speaking against Dr. Shabazz, you know what? The ancestors is coming for you. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, you done said something down my line now. Yeah,
ancestors is coming for you.
It keeps my spirit going with this right here. Let me finish saying what you asked me, Mr. McKeaton, in reference to what they did on Monday. What they did, we didn't see. We didn't see them. So why didn't we see them? Was something so right about at least one of them? Did we have the answer in one of them? Was that answer not what they wanted? In that was that? That's a question. What?
That is a question.
What were they trying to hide, Mr. City Manager? Why he came up with all this bogus stuff about the environmentals, and after I set him and the rest up on fire about that went somewhere in the wilderness, and there was no more conversation about it because I did my homework and I brought it back, and they shut their mouths up. Then they came with something. They had to come with something. Let me tell y'all why they had to come with something. And now we find out more things even more. On February the 10th, I got to say it. On February the 10th, the Savannah Morning News put out. Listen, y'all. Savannah's Georgia Tech campus could soon house a major movie studio. I said, okay. And then I saw an aerial. Lord, it all came home. Then I saw an aerial photography of the layout of the land. Guess who owns a property right next to this property? CEDA, Savannah Economic Development Authority. I said, okay. I said, y'all need to start pulling some folk campaign contribution what you call them things?
The campaign disclosures. Listen, you pull the campaign disclosures, you're gonna see the same people that donated to Eddie Deloach, Julian Miller, and all of them. They all on Van's list too. They all on Dietrich Leggett. They all on the same people. Let me tell you, we are. Oh, here goes a good question. I love Dr. Harris. How many of them black businesses received any of the CARES money? We're not gonna talk. That's that's a whole other but yeah, pull the campaign. Look, what we'll do, we'll pull the campaign disclosure forms, and next Rabble, Julius, let's put them all up on the screen. Let's pull all the campaign disclosures and put them up on the screen next week, and then we can see who owns the Savannah City Council. We'll pull everybody's.
It's that power behind. It's that power behind with the so-called power that drives the city.
It's
That's
open
correct.
for public. It's open for public record. You can go and pull all campaign disclosure and see who give what. If it's over $100 and it's public record, and we can show it on the show if we choose to.
And so it was a delay. It was a delay. It was a delay from October until now. And now, when they said, and this was a part of the discussion, I'm not going to talk about the proposals. When they said 30 days, I said, y'all must be out of y'all mind. 30 days? I said, y'all contacted these proposers back in the first part of January, telling them to get ready for what we said in October. Get ready for the presentations. That city manager, before something happened, he got up or something happened, and the whole plan changed. The proposals were ready back in January. I told them before they took this consensus and took the consensus on the city on the mayor's recommendation. I said, if y'all call them today, y'all will have every last one of those proposals ready by Thursday. They'll be ready to present by Thursday because them folks already ready. They said 30. They said it was. Then when he said 30, one of the persons said that's longer than 30 days. We were talking about 30 days is March the 22nd. He said April the 5th. That's over 30 days.
Eddie BG has a question, and I'm going to go ahead and answer this for him. Tyler Perry's movie studio is in a residential district.
It's called mixed use. It's called mixed use development. It's the same way, you know.
That's what it's called. It's called mixed use development. You don't put it all in a countryside. You know, you can do more than one thing, sir. You can do more than one thing. Just like you could have a Kentucky Fried Chicken right across the street from somebody. You know, I mean,
it's okay. Listen,
it's okay.
Look, it's okay. You know what? One thing is, I'm gonna answer and I'm gonna address Eddie BG's question. Why does someone have to be he said a bootloader, but why does somebody have to be a bootlicker? I wasn't addressing anyone in particular. I was saying that just to go blindly where people are lining your pockets. I'm gonna put it to you this way. They're trying to malign a black development on the black side of town. Unless any of these elected officials, unless you've been paid off to the tune of $10 million, you just a sellout. Because $10,000 here, $3,000 there, $50,000, and then they take your black behind and wine you and dine you, and maybe you go on Reed Delaney's jet and you feel all important, and you get a free night here, and you go stay in somebody's mansion on an island. Listen, that ain't nothing but that's you just a trustee. Unless this is what I always told black elected officials, and I don't recommend this. Unless the payoff is $10 million, you need to tell them people no.
Yes.
Because ain't none of the little piddly money they giving y'all. Peanuts. You selling your own people out for peanuts.
That's correct.
Peanuts.
Yes.
It's peanuts. They don't even pay. Look, don't even pay nobody's student loans off. You taking this few thousand here, few thousand there to sell your people out.
Yes.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for sharing that. But first and foremost, to show you whoever's speaking is not knowledgeable. You on Montgomery Street. You are half a mile from the Veteran Parkway to get you on I-16, 516. That's a thoroughfare running through. It's a perfect location. You swing on Montgomery Street, You right on the Veteran Parkway. You're on
That's right.
516. You can go south side. You can go west. You can go north. Come
That's
on,
it.
man.
That's
What I
it.
always say, the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it open. Keep what you need. You don't keep nothing because you're throwing some dumb stuff out there. I'm surprised at you.
I'm not.
That's all I want to say for now because it's getting close to my bedtime.
You know what? We need to get a new co-host because anywho.
What?
No, it's true. It's been a battle, and let me tell you something. I will just say this. They don't want to see the Black side of town be prosperous. And the few Black elected leaders, you know, for the pennies, for the chump change that they've been paid, for the little bit of tourism in the mansions and stuff on the rich side of town, the sad part is that is enough, that our people are not interested in supporting development on the Black side of town because of the pennies. You know, like I said, ain't nobody got a mansion, ain't nobody got $1 million, ain't nobody got $5 million. Guess what? When Van Johnson runs his course in politics, they're gonna drop you like yesterday's news. You're gonna be like an old used up hooker by the time, and you're gonna be looking for your next meal. You're like they treating you like a stray alley cat. That's
he might
it.
go and renovate all Van houses. He said, but the people on this thread that know me that are going along with this, I see you. Appreciate you drawing the line. You drew the line when you won't accept the truth. When all you doing is covering your eyes.
I don't even listen. I don't even
along with anything that Van say.
I don't even listen. I appreciate I appreciate the fervor I appreciate the fervor of Eddie BG, this millennial. He sows more division in Savannah than unity. You know, I don't even I appreciate the dissent, because guess what? Unless haters make you famous. Haters make you famous. We all know that Eddie BG is retained by Van. He works for Van. We expect this kind of stuff. He is a you know, part of a PR team. This is what they do.
Let me address this. He said, but you sent me this link. We send the link to every damn body. Just like you told the dude today. You told somebody today to unlink yourself or unthread up, whatever you told the dude. Delete us. Shit, man, we don't need you on here. You don't want to hit bye.
Look, we can guess what we can do. This right here. So, Alderwoman Shabazz, we have appreciated you for all of your hard work. For anybody that comes on here to talk about Dr. Shabazz is not fighting for the people of the 5th district. That's why she didn't have no contender last term, because her constituents know what she's doing. She's down there in the neighborhood talking with them, asking them, what do you need? But she also has to be in her office. People expect, you know, elected leaders to be able to just move and flail about and go here and go there. She's got her eye on the long game. And that's these fairgrounds. This is the last large piece of developable contiguous property in the Savannah metro area. Y'all don't understand. This is going to make the Black side of town or break it. That's right. How serious this is.
Right. That
y'all think people are playing. That it's time. If we don't have elected leaders in office who want to come to the people like this and say, look, I'm trying to get y'all something that's going to drive up your property values like the white side of town. So they want to put all the nice stuff on the Black side of town, and then they want to put signs on neighborhoods and finally pave the damn sidewalk after 150 years and put a ribbon up and some chairs and a podium so they can do a whole speech about the damn sidewalk. Right. Y'all don't have nobody fight. Y'all get a storage facility. You get a storage facility. I'm sorry, I'm so mad.
Jill, thank you, Ms. Scott.
Dr. Shabazz.
Yes.
Calm down. Thank
and
you.
this is kind of segueing into, the media part. But, when we start talking about stuff like this, who in the media have you been able to reach out to and actually get this message out? Because, we don't really hear we don't really hear.
Okay, let me
You know,
tell you who. Let me tell you who it is. I've been so thankful and so grateful for the reach and the media who I've been able to reach out to.
Dr. Dawson.
Let me help y'all. It's called ATR.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All things relevant.
Yes.
Now, back when my husband and I, we had the Freedom's Journal.
I remember that.
And we bring
Try to
forth
bring him on too.
we bring the Freedom's Journal on, yes, and he's a part of ATR now because of this digital piece. We were print at one time. So therefore, to answer your question, with Alderwoman Keisha Gibson Carter, with Alderwoman Alicia Blakely, with Mr. Hall, Mr. Brown, yourself, Miss Scott. This is how we have been able to get this message out.
Mm-hmm.
All before, I've been in the wilderness. Everybody, they didn't know, people couldn't hear me because Savannah Morning News wasn't going to cover me. Because
that's what I
WTOC,
was trying to get to.
they wasn't coming to get it. And first of all, my last name Shabazz. So see, we had moratoriums on us from white media way before we got into politics. Going into politics, they wasn't coming to see us anyway. So I thank God for y'all. I thank God for all things relevant.
Okay, you're absolutely correct, and I want to thank you. But the person who get the loudest applaud, Julius and I are a team, but the person, it was a brand child of Julius. He talked to me about it. I was sort of against it, but again, he kept telling me we need a Black voice in the Black community. And once he sold me on the idea, I was down for it. And I thank that man, Julius Hall, and that's the one who had the brainchild behind this whole movement. And
oh yeah,
we cannot do it. We cannot do it without the listeners who tune in. So you must share, because the more you share, the more volume, the more people get the help of media. And that's
you always trying to take credit for stuff, Charlie Brown.
A minute, please. Your mouth run like the Mississippi River.
You ain't telling the story right.
I love you.
You ain't telling the story right.
Let me help a part of this because Miss McKeithen, she asked a question.
Yeah,
now, and I've been journeying along with all of this, and especially with the media piece. Now, Mr. Julius Hall, when all of this was not in digital, Mr. Julius Hall has always been a writer. He's always been a writer. He's always been on top of the issues of the city of Savannah. I know for my own self. He used to write for our paper almost 30 years into this thing right here. But then I must say, when I got on city council, because during that time we were ending our Freedom's Journal, newspaper print. Alicia Scott, I'm saying this because I walked this. Alicia Scott came on board. We all met her at Senator Johnson's the Saturday at the Y.
Hungry Club. Hungry Club, yeah.
Alicia Scott popped up, and I don't know how many, about 10 years ago or so, when we were introduced, and we were right in the middle of a media break, And she then started, and then when I got on city council, we don't have a whole lot of money, but we understand that the media belongs, the voice, the word, the message belongs to those who own it.
Yes.
We were clear. My husband and I, we were clear on it. We came and we retained her and retained her services. She was the one who even introduced us to this whole concept of social media. She started airing our stuff and started moving forward. There was a marriage that came. Now, see, like I said, I know for myself, Julius Hall, I can tell this story. I lived it. Julius Hall was on the scene, on the street, writing for over 30 some odd years, the issues in Savannah. So it was by divine guidance, it was by divine direction that the two of them got together because they were doing this thing. Alicia Scott, see, it's no accident, y'all. This is my first time on it. I'm so thankful, y'all. I'm so glad about it. I'm glad about it. I'm so thankful. So I want to tell that story, how the marriage that I see, that I've been hearing, that I know, and that I'm now a part of, because all things relevant has come together for the good of the Black folks and everybody else. See, everybody else gonna come and find out what's going on in the Black community now. Come in here and do everything and stay real close to y'all, so they can find out what Black folk doing. So y'all keep doing what you're doing. Lord have mercy, keep doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have to, because
Thank you so much.
we have to, because what I've learned is that the whisper campaigns of misinformation prevail. You laughing at my message, Julius? I'm required by law to give Charlie Brown a hard time. So yeah, the whisper campaigns, and let me put it to you this way. I have had a non-Black lobbyist approach me about starting a whisper campaign. These things are real, you guys. The misinformation game in Savannah is huge. And if any of you guys have seen Judas and the Black Messiah, that's how easy it is to wreck everything Black people are trying to do.
Yeah.
All it takes is one person. That guy conspired for the assassination of Fred Hampton for steak dinners and $60 to $100.
Mm-hmm.
Putting pocket change in a street thug's hand. So
Right there.
let me tell you something. $10,000. Some of these old establishment organizations, white organizations, this old money, they've got way more than a couple of $100. So $10,000 looks good to some folks. Do you remember the 2015 elections? They got a whole group of people in the community together and was offering them $1,000 to run here. Somebody finally said, and I'm not going to say that person's name because I like that person. They told me, they looked at him and said, $1,000. Like, y'all, my house note is $1,000. What am I going to do for $1,000? You got to be crazy. That's how they start. They start low. That's why O.C. Welch can go into First African Baptist and call everybody colored in 2016 and don't nobody say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that during the Juneteenth celebration that one year, got up and called everybody colored. Nobody said anything at the time. Al Scott was sitting his old sellout behind in there, but they've been treating the Black folks in Savannah like they fresh off the plantation. And the sad part about it is we've had enough Black leaders in the community sell out the Black community enough to where it's been working.
Yes.
It's been working. It has been working. So I think they're trying to jam the show signal. The Jerome Irwin said he thinks they're trying to jam the show signal. Listen, we're gonna get to the next topic in just a second, Julius. What's that sign you said you seen a sign? So thank you, Dr. Shabazz, for always fighting.
This is the sign here.
Scott.
Social media is not the news. That sign was on the corner of Abercorn and Middle Ground, Abercorn and Montgomery Crossroads right there, where Middle Ground changes into Montgomery Crossroads changes into Middle Ground. Right at that busy intersection, big old sign, and that's what it said right there. Social media is not the news. Well, I be damned.
But you know what? I'm going to say this. If they would have just checked a little bit of social media on 1/6, way before 1/6, those white people, that's how they were communicating. That was their news. They had it all over the news, because the way I know it is because Ben Adams had already told me what was going to go on at the Capitol, and he was one of Trump's biggest supporters, okay? And he already knew what was going on at the Capitol. And so it came as no surprise to people that was plugged into social media. So this social media that we have going on right now is the way we have the news, our news going.
That's right.
You know,
sure is.
And we need to be the one giving our story. Because if you're older than 45 years old, they have been writing our narrative for all of our lives.
That's right.
That's the reason
our narrative.
Yeah, that's the reason why we don't know Black history unless we went to college. You know, because we thought that the only Black people were Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, and Frederick Douglass. That's all I knew about before I went to college.
Yeah. And I will say this. Growing up on the West Coast in California, I couldn't believe, you know, after I became an adult, I didn't realize that the education wasn't the same across the country. Exactly. I grew up, I learned about the Black Panther Party. That's how we learned about the Second Amendment, was how they we knew that the Black Panther Party was the framework, their community feeding program and their school lunch programs, WIC, all of that's from the Black Panther Party.
That's right.
They made sure that they made sure that they destroyed the Black Panther Party. But then when I got to Savannah, people, Black folks in Savannah was worried about, you know, somebody being affiliated with the Black Panthers. And I said, y'all embarrassed about a Black Panther affiliation? Since when have y'all been afraid of Black power? Because here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you talk, Charlie Brown, because I see you chomping at your dentures. I'm just kidding. The world only responds to Black power.
That's
until
right.
we get that through our heads. You don't have to kowtow to these white people. You don't have to tell them nothing. Savannah's 60% plus Black and people of color. You got a majority Black Democratic council. Y'all should be shoving stuff through this city, telling Michael Brown and all of them, throwing them all kind of birds and doing what you want. This should be a mini Atlanta. And if it's not, God help your soul, because the times have changed. We are now in the age of Aquarius, and the ancestors is coming for that ass.
And there's too many of us.
It was you, Shabazz, that taught me about the Black Panther Party when I was probably about 25 years old, because he was starting it up, you know.
Right.
I had no idea what it was.
I just want to say this and make it briefly. And the reason I'm going to say this, the Black Panther program started in Oakland, and that's the model they use across the country as we know it today. Now, Alita, Ms. Scott, I want Dr. Shabazz, I want all of you to please share. If they're trying to block us and stop us, you can't stop us, because you guys going to share. Call a friend, share. And you like to run your mouth, so you call Ms. Scott, you call all your friends and run your mouth just like the way you run your mouth tonight. And I'm glad to see you. Hope things are going well. And Doctor, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, sir.
You don't know.
Charlie always act like this his show.
Miss Scott, please. Julius, do something with that mute button. I just want to thank you for coming on the show. Again, when people fail, when the community fail, it's two reasons. Lack of information, lack of knowledge. You give us that tonight. And I thank you. I know Savannah people, thank you. And tell your wonderful husband, thank you, because we are blessed to have y'all guys in the community, because when you're making a gumbo, you need to put some spice in it to make the people taste it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to say,
thank y'all so much.
That's better than the parachute analogy, Charlie. Thank you.
You don't own a couple. I do.
What I want to say to people is that, here at All Things Relevant Media, it's a whole bunch of us. It's a bunch of shows. It'll probably be 30 something before the year is out. I can guarantee you 30 something before the year is out. If you can't shut us down, we're going to do something to make it happen, no matter what you do. I don't care if we go back to operating in silos. If people are saying that they can't comment or something, I don't know what's the problem, but it's on that end where you have the little trolls watching, and then they'll call Facebook acting like some little sissies. But if you call them Facebook, yeah, you're a sissy. But we're not here for friendship. We're here to report it like it is.
We're here for equity.
We don't care anything about you being our friend, our cousin, our relative, our whatever. Because if what you are doing is a detriment to our community, then we're going to talk about it here. No matter who you are. It doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it right here. Then we'll let the people decide. So it ain't like we calling your names. We understand who the bootlickers are. So we going to call the bootlickers out. So don't get mad because we call you a bootlicker. You ain't had to come on here and watch, but we glad that you are.
Hey.
It's there's a lot of that. Listen, they spread a little bit of money out. They spread a little bit of contracts out. And they get you to sell out. They get you to sell out. You just follow the money. But yeah, let's pull up the campaign disclosures and let's take a look at everybody's disclosures. We can pull up the last 20 years of them. We can pull up, but I think that this is a time of reckoning. This is the close of those 400 years of bondage.
That's right.
There's a whole there's a whole lot of Savannah could be a mini Atlanta, but Mayor Johnson would not allow it because he's too busy making. Somebody's
That's Sandra. Sandra, why you came in on another device?
She looked like she's stuck now. But yeah, we should definitely be a mini Atlanta. Listen, I've heard this 1,000 times from people from Savannah. When Maynard Jackson won election, he said, "I'm gonna make 100 black millionaires," and then he went to work.
That's right.
With that EBO, that public. We ain't even gonna go there, Dr. Shabazz.
Lord
Dr.
have
Shabazz,
mercy. I already
been there. I already been there.
We ain't even gonna go there. We could listen. Let me put this out there.
Brought it to us.
Let me put this out there.
Brought it and they shut it down.
They shut it down. We tried to reform the minority purchasing ordinance for the city of Savannah, and the number one opponent to that was Van Johnson. And you want to know how we knew? You want to know how we knew? Guess who told on him? Remember Carol Bell? Carol Bell had to come and say, "Hey, Van talking down, going to all your meetings, talking this down, saying you gonna destroy it." But that's a whole other story. Let me put this out there. It's time. It's been 5 years, and the city of Savannah should be doing another disparity study.
Absolutely.
I bet you the mayor ain't put. I bet you the mayor ain't put. They ain't even talking about it. We now a year over. So keep this in mind. When they can't update the ordinance for minority and disadvantaged business enterprise purchasing at the city, you can blame the mayor right now because he won't let nothing on the agenda. And there should be a disparity study.
I'm going to put that, and that's the next item. I'm going to bring it to the table that we've got to do a disparity study. They need to get busy hiring a consultant to do the work for the disparity study because you're absolutely correct. It is over 5 years.
What happened to the Entrepreneur Center? What happened to the Entrepreneur Center? I left it in good shape. Look at it now. I left it in great shape.
It ain't doing nothing. It's doing exactly what they intended for it to do.
They done hired the woman. The woman they fired, they done hired her back, I heard.
Hold on for Alicia till you get finished so people can hear you, what you just said.
Oh, sorry.
I said I left it in good shape. You can ask Miss McKeithen because she came and did some work with me over there. I left it in good shape, created a lot of black businesses, but they couldn't get the loan from SBAC. They wouldn't give them no money.
That's what you said. I'm not trying to take over the show, but Alicia, what you just said about the person at the Entrepreneur Center?
I heard that the person they had over the Entrepreneur Center, which was horrible, who got fired under the last city manager, under Van, they've been bringing back all the fired employees, all the people that's been fired. They can get a job under Van, Savannah. What was that we found out when we did the cat board story, Julius? The executive at Cat who was caught with her hands in the CARES money cookie jar, they allowed her to resign, and she done been hired at the City of Savannah Revenue Department now. So Savannah, the city of Savannah takes in all the crooks. They just keep all the criminals, all the crooks, all the thieves, all the backbiters, all the slewfoots. They just bring them all in. It's just one big corrupt, one big corrupt rabble. Unlike us, who is a real rebel. But yeah, they said they hired that. They remember how poorly things were run under that previous administration. Remember how we didn't get water bills for a year? Remember that mess?
That's right.
Remember the water bill? The water bill fiasco? And the CDB. Look, here's Natalie Smith-Leggett. She's asking the right questions. Where the CDBG grant money? Listen,
oh Lord,
they're not gonna give out no community development grant money to no black people. The Savannah magazine, a magazine who is not an essential service, got $50,000 of the CARES money, y'all. I want y'all to let that sink. I want y'all to let that sink in. Think about 5 small black businesses in the area could have all got $10,000 loans apiece and been surviving. Mm-hmm. But Savannah magazine that don't nobody read, they got $50,000 to what? They could go digital. They got a business model that's pivotal.
There was only one black business got some of the money. That was it. That's not right. And like I say, he's not going to run for re-election. He is out of here. And I say that.
I bet you $1 for a dime he is going to run for re-election.
He don't have a base no more in the black community.
He got Eddie.
Huh, okay.
Listen, it like I said, Van Johnson's politics are horrific. And it's sad. It's really sad. I have to imagine it must eat at him every day. His politics are horrific. He has an opportunity to do such great things right now. He has such an opportunity. Let me tell you, if Van decided tomorrow, screw you people I owe stuff to, and he just pushed through everything for the black community.
Oh my goodness.
He would make so much more money. He don't even understand. He would be so exalted to a level incomprehensible to him right now. See, the white folks is controlling him because they trying to keep him down. They trying to keep him as a puppet. But he has an army at his back right now with this council and this city, and he's wasting it. He's wasting it. He is, and it's gonna be so sad because we're gonna look at him 5-10 years down the line when
And
ulcers
shake
is
our
eating him
damn
up, and and we're gonna say, was it worth it? Was it really worth it? He is on the precipice of something great. But I am not a super religious woman, but this is the part I believe. My mother used to say, God will turn you over to a reprobate mind.
Absolutely.
I think he's gone.
They could be talked about all across the whole country with the things that they could do that would be great for this community and rebuilding this community, making everything equitable. But he'd rather cartel to one side of the community that has always ate, that has always been fed, and leaving us with scraps or nothing, really nothing.
Chaplain, I'm still looking for the Savannah Dam table.
Yeah, we had. I had that where he was hiding behind his back.
I'm still that speech was the only thing that made me feel something about Van other than reprehensible about him, because me and Van, we hadn't gotten along in a long time, but I felt something when he made that speech. But I've been looking for y'all Savannah table every since.
The invisible table done broke down and got termites, and we sitting in the mud. We just sitting in the mud.
You know how when they put the leaves in the middle of the table, I've been looking for y'all to put those leaves in the middle of the table. And I like, I've been looking for that every since.
Man.
Yeah.
That leaf that he supposed to be inserting in the table, but he got it behind his back.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that John McMasters is making a point, and this is what Black people need to be aware of. We got 11 task forces. These task forces are Van's pacification to not actually open up a management training program and give Black people jobs. That's what this is for. This is making you feel like you important. This is his way of pacifying. Like he said, they're ad hoc campaign teams. He's right. These people are going to be Van loyalists next time around, and they will have received nothing, will have moved no policy. No, there will be no policy change. There will be no equity had. It's going to be all you're going to do is be in a bunch of pictures with a small town mayor who don't nobody outside of Athens, Georgia know. Savannah as a city thinks she's bigger than what she is.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks she's bigger than what she is. That's why you got people running around here. Some of these people who think they big fish in Savannah, they really a bluegill in a pond, maybe even a puddle in a parking lot. So
what they fearing is, he's building. See, that's why I was trying to tell Charlie. He's building his base. John McMasters, you could not have said truer words. He's building a base for a re-election. The only reason for him to do what he's doing is for a re-election. He's putting all these people on who he think will have influence within in the community. But they will not defeat the 7th district. The 7th district is the most powerful district in the city. You will not defeat us.
Well,
believe that.
Here's the thing. If Van turned the corner in another week, he'd have the loyalty of the city. We just want him to do what's right by the people who look like him. We just want him to do what's right by the people that voted him. We want him to disabuse himself of this megalomaniac authoritarian rule of government that he's in. We want him to understand that when these groups is handling him, when the Reed Delaney's and the Tenenbaums and the Morrises, when all those people are done with you, they're gonna throw you in the trash like they do every single Black person they get. Look at Where's Roy Jackson?
Okay.
Where all the former black where's Edna Jackson? What's she doing? They ain't got nothing to do with her no more. Where's all them people where's Mary Osborne? Hopefully in rehab, but where's Mary Osborne? Where all them black, where's John Hall? Where they at? They ain't got nothing. They don't have nothing. They just use you up. The saddest part is how they used up Edna Jackson and then threw her out like garbage.
Yep. And, and they did the same thing to our first mayor, Mayor Adams. When he died just broke. Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't have, he did wonderful things for our city.
He did.
He really tried to do wonderful things for the Black community because I worked up under him, but when he tried to do when he tried to run again, he didn't have any support because they had already they used him up, and that's what they do to people.
They use him up. And Brooke Stillwell, I remember one time, I used to try every time I was on that side of town to go to Roy Jackson's gas station. And I remember, Roy Jackson actually had a great talk with me one day. He said, I got caught up when I was on commission. I got caught up golfing and swept away in the excitement of it all. They knew he could have been a golden boy. That's why they tried to get him to run for mayor. They knew they was going to take him out of office. But I went into Brooke Stillwell, the former city attorney, his office, and he's so proud. He had a black and white picture of him and Roy Jackson and a couple of other folks in the 70s. And I wanted to go, where's the one black person in this picture? Every other white person in that picture with Brooke Stillwell on his wall has a position or a major business in Savannah. But the black person, he was nothing but a token. He was a photo op. And that's the sad part. They use these task force are photo ops. I'd like to see if any policy recommendations come out of any of these task force, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's probably not one policy expert on any of these task force. It's a bunch of people go to the same church, people cousins, exactly. Friends. Few people got jobs. It's people that's doing other things. There's no policy. No policy change is gonna come. You don't even need 11 task force for what you. That's one task force for every 10,000 people in the city of Savannah, darn near. What they thinking about?
Okay.
Who has he appointed, Charlie?
Go ahead,
Charlie, who has he appointed to any position of a high level position, black in this city? And name one. Who has he appointed, Charlie?
None.
Oh, Marty Johnston. Marty Johnston got the white lady that lives downtown.
Black.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, fired white folks get their jobs back. That's a good thing. He redeems them.
Miss Scott, let Miss McKeithen speak for a minute, okay? You've been talking for the last 12 minutes straight.
Well,
Miss McKeithen. You got something?
If he would have followed, I wish that he would have followed Eddie DeLoach's model, because as soon as Eddie DeLoach got in office, Eddie hired, what was that guy's name? Martin
Sullivan.
What was his name?
Martin Sullivan.
Yeah, he got Martin a little job, and Martin is doing big things somewhere
up in Atlanta.
Yep. With and Martin don't have the education of a flea, but now he's making over $100,000 somewhere.
That's it, because that's what. Listen, that's what they do.
Scott,
I ain't been here but an hour. I was late.
Hold for a minute, please. Dr. Shabazz, would you like to take us out and share some closing remarks?
Yeah, you got about 4 minutes.
I want to hear what you got to say. You are our guest, and I want to be polite to you. Okay. So I want
Thank
you
you
to
for being
close us
polite to
out, all
somebody.
right?
Thank all of you for being extremely polite tonight. I just want to speak to that billboard that says the social media is not the news. Well, doggone it, Black folks, we were always creative. We always knew how to get our message out, and we got this thing of social media, and you all are doing excellent with the news. So I want to say on record that All Things Relevant is sure enough Black news for Savannah and surrounding areas, and they come and they bring the truth. It is all that we have now. And like Mr. Hall and Alicia and Mr. Brown and Ms. McKeithen, as they're doing this work and enlarging their scopes, I'm gonna talk to y'all about some stuff. Me and Mr. Shabazz, we got he got the Freedom's Journal, and I foresee some stuff from my own face to be on All Things Relevant. I'm just saying. So I really appreciate all of you. Thank you all for allowing me to come to let you all know the truth of the matter on what is happening on the fairgrounds, so that the people won't have to wonder why is it taking so long and what is happening. The fight continues. The struggle continues. I am wide awoke and I ain't going to sleep. The ancestors, they prayed. They prayed for all of us, all five of us, and everybody else. They prayed for us to do exactly what we're doing. And the elders are still breathing and actually still living and praying. Therefore, we don't have no time to sleep. We don't have no time to mess around. We got to continue to fight. And I am so thankful for the people on Savannah City Council who is fighting continuously, who has come along with me. I tell them, I'm glad. I tell them, I'm glad you're on board. We talked about the cavalry during the inauguration, and I thought the cavalry was here, but less than half of the cavalry is still standing. The struggle continues. We're gonna talk the truth, and whenever y'all allow me to come on back, I'll be back to see y'all. Thank y'all so much for having me.
You're more than welcome, and I want you to know, I know ATR or Charlie Brown, Miss Brown, we got your back. We are behind you, and we want to see nothing improvement in the 5th district, but it will be the better of Savannah.
Yes,
we
sir.
all win. We all
That's right.
win. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now
Yes,
the
sir.
mouth of the South, she can kick in and just flow like the Mississippi River, which is in the South. Go ahead, mouth of the South.
Well, you always gotta throw a punch, Charlie Brown. You just can't.
You deserve a punch.
You can't help.
You punch.
Look at that. You see that? A violence against women. That's what we.
No.
I love you, Alicia.
Madam Mayor,
I love you too. We love each other.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just want to tell you that I apologize for anything that we might have said that might get you in any discomfort with your not your constituents. We all here for you. With your fellow council members or anything. We just want to get the truth out here. And when we have soldiers like you who ain't afraid to stand up and tell it like it is, then all of us will be better off. And we appreciate you coming, and you're welcome anytime you feel like coming back, okay?
Because we
Thank y'all so much.
And if things get too tough, over there in Savannah, come on over to Houston.
Where it ain't no light.
Coming to Houston.
Yeah, we got lights over here now. We got lights over here.
I don't have enough blankets to come to Houston. No way I'm coming to Houston.
You be safe over there. Be safe.
You can't even get out that chair, Charlie Brown, let alone come to Houston.
One last note, since everybody. One last note.
Thank you, guys.
If y'all notice that to the bottom of the screen, we've been telling y'all to please donate anything that you can to this platform. We're here for you. We're giving out the news. We took in about $200 last night, which I don't have time to call all the people's names out who donated, but I appreciate it. I know that other people said
We don't
called
want
and
you. We
said
don't
that they
want
were,
you calling it out ever, Julius.
yeah,
We don't want you telling them people what we doing.
yeah,
You know they watch us.
let them watch. But that, you know, people do it because they do want to get the recognition, and Roland Martin does it. You know, we gonna call him out just like Roland does. I'll do that this week sometime, but on one of the other shows. We didn't have time tonight, but I just want to say thank you all for watching. Keep doing what you're doing, and we're gonna keep fighting with these ladies. And at ATR, we're gonna keep bringing it to you the real 100.
Good night.
We're gonna
I'm going to
definitely
bed
keep you.
now. You
And I'm
know
gonna say
it's
we got
bed.
1 minute. We got 1 minute to go, and I'm gonna say my last
thank
piece.
you,
This is
guys.
for the.
Good night. I appreciate you.
He always doing a closing on his own. Anyway, it's been real, folks.